Straight ahead on 12 News, keeping your eye on the sky. What you and your family need to know about severe weather. Plus, one powerful trip. Cooper High School students return from a journey through the South focused on civil rights. But first, the cable game could be changing in the Northwest Metro.
Competition is always good, so I think it's a real good opportunity to bring another provider into the market and let the consumer decide.
12 News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. Northwest Metro residents could soon have another option for cable TV service.
CenturyLink wants to be a cable provider in our area. Representatives spoke about it this morning in a public hearing.
When you subscribe to cable in the Northwest Metro, right now you only have one option, Comcast. But that could change because CenturyLink wants to be an option too.
A lot of people are always been looking for a second option. And so if we can make things work with CenturyLink, there's the second option.
The process for that to happen is a long and complicated one. One of the first steps happened Thursday morning, a public hearing where CenturyLink submitted a franchise application and talked to the Northwest Suburbs Cable Commission.
It's a vibrant, healthy market and one that CenturyLink has a great presence in already that we just want to expand and offer more services to our customers.
One of the most asked questions is how many homes will have access to a second service. CenturyLink says to start, they'll offer their Prism TV cable service to 15% of each city.
Speaking for Maple Grove, I'm concerned about how does that 15% lay out as you look at the city as a whole.
Comcast released a statement after today's hearing saying we do business in a competitive environment every day. Any new provider entering the market should be held to existing state and federal requirements in order that competition develops according to which provider can best serve the consumer.
Some people love Comcast. Some people are frustrated with Comcast. Some people don't matter. It doesn't matter to them at all who they have. But it's an opportunity to have a second provider.
The Northwest Suburbs Cable Communications Commission will vote on CenturyLink's application in mid-May. Then both sides will enter negotiations. Subscribers could know whether a second provider is an option sometime this summer.
Did you hear that sound today? You'll hear it again at 6:55 tonight. That's Thursday evening. Those sirens are part of Severe Weather Awareness Week, and for the very first time, sirens sounded from the new Hennepin County Sheriff's Office 911 Emergency Communications Facility in Plymouth. Technology that debuted last year also allows emergency management to better pinpoint sirens to specific areas. And we all know that those sirens can sound at a moment's notice.
It's best to have a plan in place before severe weather hits. Reporter Sonia Goins shows us how to prepare.
Big tornado on the ground.
A tornado is a fast-spinning tube of air that touches both the ground and a cloud above.
A tornado was on the ground 6 miles south of Wilbur.
These twisters can occur at any time.
Right now it's coming down.
The Northwest Metro has seen its fair share of severe weather. This tornado touched down in Plymouth August 8th, 2009.
If you're starting to see clouds rotate, tornadoes rotate, and they rotate vertically. If you start seeing that, definitely go take shelter right away.
Hennepin County has a new tool to alert them about severe weather.
We can get reliable up-to-the-minute data of wind speeds, rain, wind direction.
These 30-foot weather sensors are being placed all around the county.
We can warn people properly for life safety.
And when the skies turn dark and the wind starts to blow hard, you want to be prepared by packing a survival kit. Food and water should be the first thing on the list.
Have enough food and water for 72 hours.
Include a blanket, candle, lighter, medical kit, and a whistle so you can alert someone.
Something as simple as a hockey helmet, baseball helmet, even an old pot that you can stick on your head when you're sheltering can really save your life.
A weather radio is also a good investment.
I can turn it on if there's a potential for severe weather to hear any warnings that may come across.
Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Experts also recommend putting household information on a USB drive and keeping it in your survival kit so it will be easy to locate important documents for insurance purposes. Grass fires like these in Brooklyn Park earlier this spring have officials concerned about more fires. The National Weather Service, in fact, has issued a so-called red flag fire warning for all of Minnesota due to dry conditions, strong winds, and warmer than average temperatures. Governor Dayton also signed an executive order Wednesday calling on the Minnesota National Guard to assist with dozens of fires burning around the state.
The Wayzata High School is big and it's about to get a lot bigger. The Plymouth City Council approved plans this week to expand the high school. There would be 6 additions totaling roughly 170,000 square feet. Plans also include the construction of 3 artificial turf fields and a new varsity softball field. And it increases the capacity for parking and busing. 2 years ago, the district bought a chunk of the former Elm Creek Golf Course to plan for this expansion. And Wayzata is currently the largest high school in the state with about 3,400 students.
Meantime, Brooklyn Park this week is busy over the issue of bees. Despite concerns, the Brooklyn Park City Council took the first step in approving a beekeeping ordinance. To become a beekeeper, residents would have to meet setback requirements of where a hive could go. In addition, residents would have to receive education and pass an inspection. Some council members were concerned about liability issues, including neighbors who may be allergic to bee stings. Beekeeping is allowed in Maple Grove and in Plymouth, but only in areas zoned for rural or agricultural uses. Brooklyn Center allows beekeeping, but no more than 2 hives per homeowner. Coming up, a powerful journey etched in the minds of students at Cooper and Armstrong high schools.
And then a little bit later in sports, Wayzata faces Minnetonka in the Trojans Lake Conference baseball opener.
But first, above average temperatures continue. Friday, we could reach 70 degrees.
Spring break took on a new meaning for a group of African-American students from Armstrong and Cooper high schools.
They recently returned from a bus trip through the Deep South where they learned about civil rights. As Eric Nelson found out, it was one powerful journey.
We were marching through the Lincoln Memorial.
They followed the footprints of those who fought for freedom.
There were a few people that kind of just gave us like a mean look, or like, why are they doing this? It's ridiculous how much hate can be generated.
And they got an up-close view at landmarks and monuments.
This one was in one of the museums, just showing how crazy the slave trade was.
That are signatures of the civil rights movement.
Having the first-hand look and being able to touch these things and walk on this ground and to see the surroundings, that's what really touched me.
Spring break for these Armstrong and Cooper students was a chance to sponge up history. And they returned to Minnesota with plenty of mental and physical snapshots.
After the trip, I felt committed. I felt like I'm powerful and I could do anything and I could speak my truth.
The students are eager to share their civil rights message.
We're just going to import it directly from the card,
which they will do in a couple of documentaries.
There's no use in having knowledge if you're not going to share it with anybody.
Their 10-day journey took them to places such as Memphis, Birmingham, and Selma, cities that were ground zero in the battle to eradicate racism.
I feel like it wasn't eye-opening because we knew about that stuff, but to sit there and feel it and imagine it, it's a different ballgame.
They try to fight for our rights for the next generation because they don't want us to suffer.
The trip was powerful.
I felt a large sense of honor.
And the painful past fostered a gamut of emotion.
Some parts it did hurt, some parts it did hit me hard, some parts did make me sad. But I felt honored.
In Robbinsdale, I'm Eric Nelson, Channel 12 News.
The 2 documentaries are titled Unapology and Systems of Mass Destruction. The students visited 9 historical cities on the trip. And that's something they'll probably remember.
Exactly.
Now on out. Still ahead, we head to West Lutheran High School to meet this week's standout student.
But first, Maple Grove battles Irondale in prep baseball. Jay Wilcox has the highlights next in sports.
Time to talk baseball, and Maple Grove's off on the right foot.
Yes, they look like they'll have a pretty good team this spring, and busy week for them too. The Maple Grove baseball team lost a high-scoring battle to Coon Rapids Monday, then had a big game against Champlain Park postponed when the umpires didn't show up on Tuesday. They got back to action Wednesday against Irondale. In the bottom of the 3rd, Brett Schultz's hit brings Charlie Horton around and gives the Crimson a 5-0 lead. The top of the 5th, a fly ball to shallow right field. Looks like it'll drop, but Josh Wente makes a diving catch to end the inning for the Crimson. To the bottom of the 5th, Lucas Burrington's ground ball sneaks through the Irondale infield, allowing Schultz to score, and it's 8-0 Crimson. Max Marshall tosses a complete game shutout as Maple Grove blanks Irondale 9-0. They also beat Champlain Park 3-1. in a night game. The Wayzata baseball team has hit the ball well early this season. The Trojans' offense was backed by a great pitching effort in their Lake Conference opener at Minnetonka. Both pitchers wiggle out of jams in the first. Wayzata's Tom Scoro escapes a second and third situation when center fielder Cameron Keenan tracks down Jimmy Ramsey's deep fly ball. In the third, Suming Song tags it a long way to center for Wayzata. Song races around to third base with a leadoff triple. It's one of 3 triples in the game for the Trojans. And Song scores as Reese Smith bounces to short. Jack Kuzma thinks about coming home but goes to first instead. Wayzata leads 1-0. An inning later, Keenan comes through with a bouncer up the middle with the bases full to score a run. The Trojans add one more to make their lead 3-0. Meanwhile, Scoro blazes along. He has a no-hitter through 5 and strikes out 11 total on the night. Wayzata adds some insurance runs in the 7th. Griffin Schneider bounces a hit to right. It looks like it'll be a close play at the plate, but the catcher can't come up with the throw and a run scores. And Brendan Brody freezes the right fielder with this drive, and it's over his head. 2 more runs score on Brody's triple. The Trojans get 4 runs total to make it 7-0. After giving up his first hit in the 6th, Scoro loses the shutout in the bottom of the 7th as Matt Boyd's deep fly ball here will clear the fence just as left fielder Schneider takes a tumble. But it's a big win for Wayzata as they take it 7-2.
I felt great. Like the whole night, everything just felt good. All my pitches were working. Catcher was just calling a great game. My defense worked great behind me.
Offense, yeah, we were hitting a lot of line drives, which are extremely important to winning. Keeping the ball on the ground. We didn't have too many pop-ups, which helps a lot. Yeah, we're just seeing the ball well.
And our 12 sports crew was on hand for that game. You can see the replays on Channel 12 Thursday night at 7 or Saturday at 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. And it is rivalry week in baseball in the area. We have 2 more big matchups after the Wayzata-Tonka game. Thursday afternoon, we're covering Maple Grove versus Osseo in a District 279 clash. It's live on the web at 12.tv and replays on Channel 12 Friday night at 7 and Saturday afternoon at 1. Friday, our game crew will be at Cooper as the Hawks host Robbinsdale District rival Armstrong. Watch that one live at 12.tv Friday at 4:30 or catch the replays on Channel 12 Saturday at 7 p.m. or Sunday at 7 a.m. or 1 p.m. A much-decorated Totino Grace wrestler earned another big honor as he wrapped up his outstanding high school career. Lance Benick has been named an All-American as the nation's top-ranked wrestler at 195 pounds by Intermat. Benick was undefeated for a second straight season and won his 4th straight championship in Class 2A. Just one wrestler at each weight class was named All-American. Benick will wrestle for Arizona State next season, and Apple Valley's Mark Hall was named Intermat Wrestler of the Year. So he's been a fun one to watch, and now on to college.
All right, thanks a lot, Jay. Well, have you ever known a kid who seems to be curious about just about anything?
Neil Persley found one such young man in this week's Standout Student.
Mr. Willy Wonka didn't know what to do.
Aaron Wald played the narrator in West Lutheran High School's production of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Theater was actually kind of a spontaneous decision.
And just the tip of the iceberg with Aaron.
And I do theater, I do mock trial, and I did Teens for Life for a year.
Academically, Aaron gravitates towards science.
He's one of those guys that'll always have the questions that makes the teacher start to think a little bit, and you have to go back and do your own little research to come back and answer them well.
I've never had a science class that I didn't like, but also microbiology. I want to get into nanotechnology.
Nanotechnology is the manipulation of matter on an atomic, molecular, or supramolecular level. In other words, teeny weeny.
Nanotechnology, I think it's just amazing, especially being so interested in biology. It's pretty much capable of curing every single disease that we know of.
In fact, there are great advancements in finding a cure for cancer through nanotechnology.
My family's historically had a bad time with cancer, so nanotechnology and microbiology and curing that would be something that's something that I really want to do, and that's kind of like my motivation behind it. And I like science, so it fits.
Aaron has an impressive GPA.
I'm going to the University of Minnesota, the College of Biological Sciences.
He recently received a David Larson Academic Scholarship from the University of Minnesota.
I'm planning on going to grad school because nanotechnology will take more than 4 years.
Aaron is the kind of student capable of making a very positive impact in the field of research medicine.
Yes, it'll be hard, but I think I've got the ambition, and I would like it so much that hopefully I can carry through with that.
Neil Persley, 12 News.
Aaron says his other career interest is dentistry. He will graduate from West Lutheran next month. I think whichever field he goes into, he'll be just fine.
He's going to do well.
What a smarty. Coming up, one special lady who has helped keep seniors active in Robbinsdale for 45 years.
Plus, the perfect volunteer opportunity for animal lovers. We'll be right back. April 16th marks a special 45th anniversary for the Robbinsdale senior community.
45 years.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So that's amazing.
Yeah.
A wonderful testament.
That it is. 45 years ago, Gene Lindstrom and Pastor Glenn Flo started the Leisure Age program at Elam Lutheran Church. The community social group for seniors brought all faiths together for a lunch and social gathering each week. In 1970, it was a big deal to unite Catholics and Lutherans in fellowship and offer a weekly meal and also a social opportunity for seniors. Now its director, Gene Lindstrom, is retiring, and so is the program. But the spirit of the program is still as relevant as ever.
Keep going. Keep the light shining. Keep volunteering and helping others.
At its peak, Leisure Age would draw 400 seniors to Elam Lutheran Church. If you love animals, imagine a volunteer gig where you're surrounded by pets.
Elizabeth Gustafson is living the dream as a volunteer for the Animal Humane Society.
Come on, Rocco. Let's go outside.
You could think of volunteer Elizabeth Gustafson as a matchmaker.
That's the ultimate goal, to send dogs home to good families or good individuals. Such a nice puppy.
Since 2011, Elizabeth's racked up nearly 500 volunteer hours at the Animal Humane Society.
Come on.
Spending time with dogs and ultimately
does that feel good?
Matching them with adoptive families.
What? Let's run around. Come on, get some exercise.
More than 2,100 volunteers work alongside staff here in a variety of roles.
Go get the ball.
For Elizabeth,
Grew up with dogs, always have had dogs. Do you know how to sit?
this volunteer gig is the perfect match.
This is a very happy place. It's very rewarding to be with the dogs and get positive feedback from them. But it's very rewarding to see dogs go home to families. Can you sit? And it's very rewarding to work with the staff here. Very good. That's for you.
And if you're interested in volunteering, we have a link on our website, which allows you to see the opportunities at the Animal Humane Society. And they have plenty, not just with pets, but also behind the scenes.
All right, something for everyone.
That's exactly right. That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Community Corner is coming up next.